They raised you to be obedient. The people that raised you to be obedient. Now class is in session. The people that I'm talking about is your family. The people I'm talking about is your military commanders. The people that I'm talking about is your boss. You know, all of these people around you, they're telling you, you need to do this. These are the rules. These are the things you're going to do. These are the KPIs you're going to hit. These are the commands you're going to have for the day. This is the order you're going to go in. We're going to march to lunch today. These are the plays you're going to learn. This is the order we're going to do it. Offense, defense, kickoff, return, kickoff. These are the routines that you need to follow. Your parents, you better make sure that bed's made when I get home. You better make sure that food is in the sink so it's de-thawing out, so when I get home we can make dinner and things can be a lot easier. You need to be doing that laundry when I get home. All of these things, they're teaching you and raising you how to be obedient. And when they teach you how to be obedient, you carry all of these as you grow up. And it's not saying do not give guidance to children. It's not saying do not give guidance to younger individuals, because they do need a structure, they do need a path. But when you are instilling fear, a part that I haven't even get into yet, if you don't have that bed made when I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna whoop your ass. If you don't fall in line or not in order and add attention when I tell you to be at attention, you could get down on your face. AKA, we're gonna put you in push-up position. If you show up late, if you do not tuck in your shirt at football practice, I will make your ass log roll 100 yards. There's always a consequence. And in these consequences brings on fear. So when you go out into the real world, it's like, man, if I don't do these things that somebody else tells me to do, even if I think it's wrong or right, there is going to be a consequence, which is going to turn me out wrong. But I just only learned how to be obedient. There's a fine line, and there was an area that we need to learn how to stand for, and it is the area of our own power, of our own words, and the whole confidence in the things that you believe in. Of course, you have the minor things of making a bed, doing all these things, but all of that translates to everything else later on in life, because that's all you know. That's the only things you grew up in. I know that I lived it. I've been through that. That's why I can speak like this. I've vlog rolled so many times up and down the field, and for my athlete, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Running sprints down and back and forth, and somebody don't touch the line. You running again. Now you yelling at this other person because they weren't obedient to the rules of them. But what about if football ends? What if you have an injury? You tear your ACL, LCL, PCL, meniscus. You blow out the whole thing. NFL is not in your path anymore. Now the only things that you learn is fear and the discipline from somebody else, that somebody yelled at you and told you, and now you think you're the most powerful being on this earth. But then when you walk into the corporate world, things are a whole lot different. You can't speak up for yourself because now you may lose your job. AKA, just like you may lose your position, your starting position, because a younger individual is more obedient than you are. There's always so many consequences, but I think it's bullshit, because you have the value, you have the character, you have the heart for it, and you know what's right. You're going to stand for what's right. You're not going to kiss ass to somebody else. You're not just going to be obedient just because they say. You're going to add your power. You're going to add your strength to it. And so that's more what we're getting into. I feel like a lot of this world is lost. And of course, we don't think of it as us just being lost. What does that mean, AJ? Well, we got lost, we got numb, we also got confused. So a lot of these things, when we grow up, we only know the rules of how things were when we grew up. You know, if you were given certain guidance growing up, this is the direction, this is the school you're going to go to, this is going to be the type of majors you're going to get into, because I believe you're going to do well at this position. Sure, mom, you know, you're going to go into it because you believe in her, you trust her, you love her. This is almost your guidance counselor. And so the things that they want to build and grow into you, you listen to, but you also fear this individual because you're like, well, if I don't listen to them, I don't know what's going to happen. I remember a time when I was playing basketball, and I can't stand basketball. At least we're growing up. I still play basketball every now and then now. But playing, like, not necessarily professional, but actually like competing, playing in high school, middle school, going to play college, whatever. That stuff I wasn't a fan of. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to play basketball for fun if I was going to ever do it. You know, play with the homeboys at the house, play with some of my friends back home. But actually playing it just wasn't my thing. I loved football. I was diehard for football. I'm crazy for football. I went through 4 surgeries and I'll still play. But through that, growing up with basketball, I hated it at the time. So when I was playing, there was a time I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I'm not playing basketball anymore. And she said, "You gonna play basketball. So what am I gonna do? I can't tell her no, even though I've already tried. I tried to stand up for myself, but over time, she overpowered me. So I ended up going playing basketball. And one of the times we're playing basketball and I get to high school, I'm taking it down the lane and I went up for a layup. Boom, got knocked over, broke my wrist. I'm like, okay, here's one sign. This is in high school, middle school. We running suicides. And I don't care if you don't like that name. That's what it's called, bro. We was running suicides. And when you're running suicides, there's a reason why it's called suicide. Because you be sitting there at the end like this. And coaches be like, get up. You sit there like this, and coaches be like, the air ain't as good up here. Take your hands off your head. And so I'm like, it's like, yo, I'm not playing Simon Says everything you do. Let me breathe. Air seems good up here to me, or air seems good down here too. Let me do what I want to do. Regardless, when you're running those, I was running those suicides, tore my meniscus. My knee locked. I'm sitting there, screaming and everything. I got wheelchair down to the hospital, all that stuff. But every single time something happened, I would tell my mom, I'm not playing basketball anymore. I want to go and play football. But I had to be obedient to my mother. And so over time, I felt lost. I was like, man, I can't even do what I want to do now. This is how life is going to be for the rest of my life. I'm just going to be sitting here in this limbo of what my mom wants me to do or what my dad wants me to do. So over time, as that builds up and as that grows, we become numb to it. Of this is going to be how life is always going to be. There's always going to be someone that is going to be in control of how I deal with life. And so when you grow up, you start to be fearful of certain things. When they bring up different conversations of, I'm teaching you this stuff so you don't have to be threatened or you're not going to be in trouble when you get out into the real world. But what's not being talked about is what's being poured into your mind from all these years of being programmed or having this agenda put onto you. Of course, it's not with any malicious intent. But when you grow up from this feeling, now all you know is those thoughts and that identity. And so when you're growing up and you get to that point of numb, it's going to be like, oh, when I get into the job, to the workplace, it's going to be somebody, telling me what to do. Somebody's always going to be on top of me. These are your rules. This is your stuff. And if not, you don't do this, you're going to be punished. And so that's the only way that your head gets brought up. And it doesn't matter what any situation you get into. You move out of the home. You move out, you get on your own place, I'm not going home. This life is going to change. But then you realize the next place you go through the same patterns, you go through the same loop, you go through the same routine, because that's all you know up here. So when you compartmentalize it and you put it up here, you're going to start seeing it out into your reality, into your world. So when you see it into your world, you're like, bro, I left home to get away from this. And now I got relationships with people trying to tell me what to do. I got other coaches trying to tell me what to do and dictate my life. I got other creators trying to tell me what to do. I got all these other coaches that I'm trying to invest and learn my knowledge, but trying to tell me this is the only way that you can grow. This is the only way that you can do something. And I don't have any say into what I actually want. That loop is going to follow every single place that you go into. So you just become numb to it. You're like, bro, I guess this is the way of the world. And so then you get confused. It's like, bro, this is my life. Why are all y'all telling me what to do? And it's not like, it's a feeling more of, I feel more disconnected with who I am. Because yes, I went through, for example, for my life, I went through 4 surgeries. Tore my ACL, LCL, PCL, meniscus, tore my rotator cuff, tore my labrum, right? And so when I got into the idea of wanting to help people, I originally wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. That was the direction I wanted to go. That was the path of life that I wanted. Because I was like, man, I want to help people. But I want to help people. But then I was like, man, the only people that I can help are the people that are injured, that have surgery. And I'm like, man, I don't only want to hurt people. I do want to help them get back to their routine and get back to the life that they're wanting to live, if they want to be in sports or whatever. But then as I started to grow and then I got out of football and I got out of sports, I noticed there's more life to this world than sports. AKA these injuries taught me that, because I had to sit out for 11 months, sitting out for 6 months, sitting out for 3 months. So I'm like, now I'm a regular person. Now I got to see what life is like. But through this entire, time and entire process, I'm figuring out like who I am both in and out. So I'm like, all right, let's get into communications. We get into communications, learning how to talk to people, how to navigate conversations, how to navigate different relationships. So as we're going through it, I'm learning how to build my own connections with who I want to actually be as a person, finding my own voice, finding my own spirit, finding the things that I truly enjoy. And a lot of us athletes or people in the military, people that are in school, only know the direction of what somebody else tells them, the umbrella of what somebody else tells you. And I started to notice it because even other coaches or other businesses get taught by these schools, these MBAs, these other programs, and they try to teach you the program that they learned in the school that was controlled by somebody else. So they still don't even have their own ideals. So now I'm following the ideals, not even of you, but of somebody else, and you don't even know your own ideals. And so you're trying to push your agenda onto me, which still makes me confused, because it's like, well, who the hell am I listening to? Am I listening to you? Am I listening to your granddaddy that was owning the school? Am I listening to your teacher, your professor, your friends? Your friends that was using AI for the entire time of growing up into school and growing into classes? There's nothing wrong with using your resources, but if I'm not learning from you and the power in your mind, I'm following anything. I'll follow you off a cliff if need be. So I'm like, we're walking at confused at all times of the day. And so this confusion causes this disconnection, and this disconnection with your own life and your own agenda creates an area of frustration. It creates the area of a lack of confidence. It creates the area of just feeling like you don't care for life. And it's not even pushing to the point of depression, but you can't get to that point. It's like, I don't know who I am. People are not going to listen to me because I have no true skills. I have no true knowledge because I'm finding all the knowledge from somebody else. I'm finding all the care and all these ideas and how to process emotions from somebody else, from observing somebody else. But I don't even know what my own true emotions are like. And so this is why we're so lost, numb, and confused, but we don't say it. We're like, man, I hold it down. I played football for the longest time. I know how to control my emotions. I control it with aggression. But that's stupid. That's how I lived. I'm like, anytime, if you want to fight, even though I've never been in a fight, I'm a big guy. But I can get angry, and my temper can lose like that. But I have to keep my composure because of what I was taught at home. Hey, if you do this wrong, there's going to be consequences for it. And so you become fearful in life. But I was taught to be a nice guy. So I'm still a big guy, but all of that anger and aggression that was built in from football, and that, if you play defense, you got that, I played outside linebacker. That was the person who I was. So anytime somebody will cross me or disrespect me or feel some type of way about me, and they try to push their agenda onto me after growing up in a place where the agenda was trying to push onto me, I was tired of it. So my aggression was the first thing that came about. Of course, I never had to get into any fights. But you got to think from even a longer scale. Once football was done, I had to tame this aggression. So what the hell was I going to do? So I started training a lot harder. I started getting into boxing, not actually fighting from other people, but just getting onto the bags, learning the fundamentals of boxing. Yes, I would train, so I would still get hit. I remember working with my trainer a couple years ago, or not, a couple months ago, maybe 8 months ago, 9 months ago now. Training, I was like, yo, I want you to push me. I want you to train me. And so he was like, we're learning defense. We cover your hands. I dropped my hand. Bro gave me a bloody nose. Quickest 1-2 I've ever seen. He got me good though. But all of this time, we have to figure out how to control our emotions. So once again, going right back into depression, you have to learn how to control your emotions and your mind and understanding how you process so many things now. We have to dive back into our memory log and understand where all of our thoughts and stuff are coming from. So we are no longer confused about the agenda. We're no longer numb to all of these things that we just acquired and absorbed while we were growing up. And we're no longer lost in the direction that we want to go in life. I'm sure you've seen friends, you've seen family, you've seen coworkers living like this, and you're like, yo, you have so much potential. There's so much value in you. And obviously this company don't think so. And you have the power, you have the value, but you want to stay in this safe route because it was what you were taught growing up. So let's stay it because I'm comfortable here, and I already don't know who I am now. You think I'm going to dive into something new? This is working out for me. And I'm sure you've seen people's light, the people that were like so passionate, so driven for the things that they're doing. They want to get into this new business. They want to get into this new route to make some money, make their family happy, take care of all these people. And then all of a sudden they stop. They go back into a workplace because you're like, this didn't work out for me. So let me get back into a space that makes me feel normal, where I don't have to work, too hard. And there's a lot of those people, and that's okay. And I would say, and this goes into the direction about like what paths and what routes we want to take in life. I just noticed this towel sucks. Maybe it's the whiteboard, or maybe I need like a spray or something. Hope y'all's day is going well. We're going on this is the morning rants. I think this is what we're gonna have to do. Have our morning rants. I like this. We're pouring out from the heart. So, and honestly, to tell you as well, like what we're doing, the stories are coming from here, but I want to make sure we have some guidance throughout the whole process. So there's a presentation, and this is also to teach you. If you're ever going into the YouTube space, if you're ever going into content creation, always have some like guidance to a direction you want to go in. Unless you're an actor and you got it all locked down in your brain, by all means, do what you got to do. You need a teleprompter, do what you got to do. But I can't use no teleprompter. This is the back camera. Can't read no other screen and stuff. So I have a presentation, and it's just giving me some key points in the direction you want to go down and you want to talk in. I was also the assistant director of public speaking. So something that was always helpful was having cards with me of just to show like, these are going to be the talking points. We can pass that along. You've seen people at TED Talks, business conversations, just having some notes with you to help guide the direction of your conversation. So you're not like bouncing around all over the place. Just some helpful tips for me as a teacher. Like I said, I've done a lot of things, and I've been through a lot of paths, and I've seen how school systems teach you. I've seen how the school systems teachers teach you how to teach. I know how the process is of teaching college students and like having them in a direction that they want to push you in. And so people love my classes because I'm in there and talking to you about life. I'm talking to you about the direction, and I'm applying how we talk about what we talk about into your real world, but into the life that you want it to be in, not anybody else's direction. And so the only part, even how that all goes into direction, I want to show you something. And I'm sure you've seen, pictures online of, how you draw, this Mario ass crown. So, you got my kings and queens, right? And you've seen the path where it's the path where all the people are. You got the road right here, and it's, I ain't drawing a bunch of people, right? But you got all the people on this path. But then you got the other route. You got the dark and gloomy route. You got the trees, the dark trees ain't got no leaves and shit on it. One of them. Dark path. You got the rocks, the spikes and all that. Don't worry about You got the spikes and the rocks. But then you also got like one person. You may got two people following this route. If it was you, if there was this, yellow brick road, you got this road and you see all the people going on it, you're going to be like, damn, I want fun. They laughing and cheering and having, it just got so much joy. They look like they at peace. I'm going to walk my happy ass in that route. What do you think this route is? We got corporate. We got safety. We have college. All of these routes, everyone is like, everybody else is going on it. You get from high school, they just got accepted into A&M. They just got accepted into Texas Tech. They just got accepted into Arkansas. Fun, right? People don't even know what the hell they want to do in college. They go on into like, man, well, everybody else went to college. So you know what else I'm going to do when I get to college? I'm going to join a fraternity. I'm going to join a sorority. I got to meet some friends. I'm going to go meet some people in here, and I'm going to get fucked up. Like, niggas like these, I mean, it's okay. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to bash on them because I got some family that are in fraternities. Do not get me wrong. And I've considered it, though, as well. And I still am considering joining a fraternity. But I want you to understand the mind of people that when they just going into school, they don't understand how the process really works. But the school I went to, or after my first school, I went to Texas Tech. And for those of you, Reckham, just got my master's, Those of you who went to Texas Tech and you were in a fraternity, you know damn well. At these fraternities, man, you out there standing on kegs, headstands, bar crawls, shotgunning at 8 o'clock in the morning for what? You ain't learning nothing in these groups, in these chapters, in these meetings. You ain't learning nothing with them sororities. I meet my best girlfriends and we all go to get along. Girls fight more than ever. You telling me all of you get along? I've heard all the beef. I've heard all the dramas. I know some of the presidents. Y'all like, cut it out. So you have a route where it's like, well, I know what I can go in. I can play the role that they give me. They give me a job. They give me this specific direction. So it's once again somebody else telling you what to do because you don't even know the direction that you want to take it in life. So I'm like, I'm gonna follow somebody else. Cool. With that following becomes safety because you don't have to make any risk. You don't have to take any risk of your own. You don't have to challenge yourself. You just go in the direction that you want to go because somebody else is guiding you to tell you the exact route. But what if you were to go down a space that nobody else around you really knows? That's scary, ain't it? It's scary as hell. Well, I don't know who to ask. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know who to get advice from. Nobody else I know was in here. Well, when you was in this fraternity sorority, you should have been talking to them. You should have been talking about to the people and towards the direction you wanted to go in, asking for help, asking for advice about, hey, how should I do this? How should I jump into this career path that I wanted to do? Not because, well, my parents did it or, everybody else in my class was in finance. Maybe I should learn finance. Like, no, it's whatever direction you want to craft your own identity and follow that path. Follow what's in your heart. That emotion, that thing that's bubbling up inside of you whenever you have a dream, you have a passion to do something, why don't you follow that? Are you not confident in you? Are you not confident in the abilities that you have that you can take it into another direction? Do you not know the power that is in your mind to push it to any direction? Why do you think something that's always said is you can do anything as long as you put your mind to it? Your mind is so powerful and you know so much, but you can overcome so many things. Well, if you take a risk, you're not going to, look, it depends on what type of risk and stuff you're taking. If you're jumping off cliffs and you jumping off rocks and all that shit, it's a different type of risk. You can lose your life, yes. but some other risk you will not die. It's just another learning lesson for you. But I want to go into even another direction of safety. And that goes into this route of corporate. AJ, how can you talk about this? Why should I listen to you about corporate? Well, currently I am employed by another company. Why am I employed? Because I did this and I wanted this. That's all I knew. My parents did it. Family around me did it. My friends did it. Why don't I? Corporate man, 6'2", came in at 240 pounds. Black man, button up. Sit in my office. Hello, this is AJ White speaking. I'm not gonna call out the company, but I work for a luxury gym. They wanted to call it a club. I work this, right, in the corporate world. And in this world, you have a job lined up. You have some revenue coming in, you have some money coming in, but I hate it. But it's comfortable. Something easy, steady income. You have things coming in, you can meet a lot of people. I'm like, cool. Don't sound too bad. Currently, I was living in Texas. And as I was living in Texas, though, there was a business that I wanted to do. And there was a direction that I wanted to go in. And it was going to move me to a place that had a lot of connections. The community is a bit different. People from this place are already from this place. The people that are in this place have been here for a long time, ages, buildings old as hell. And so in this community, there's a lot of old wealth. And so I wanted to infiltrate and get in, figure out the people in here and figure out the new ways of life. I wanted to get out of my reality. I wanted to get out of safe and to play a little gamble, play a little risk. So I moved across the country. I moved to Boston. Boston's cool, but it's cloudy. I mean, it's dark right now and it's 6:30. But with all of that, the rain and don't get to be outside. They're like, oh, the spring and the summer is the most beautiful time. People coughing and sneezing during the spring. It's cold. It was still colder. It was like 40 degrees the other day. So I haven't enjoyed truly the warmth yet. I've had a couple days. And they're like, oh man, summer. Summer. You can't miss it. This is one of the most beautiful. I'm like, in the perspective, I'm like, summer? It's like 2 months. You're telling me 2 months out of this 12-month year I can enjoy being outside? They're like, yeah, it's beautiful outside. In the fall, oh my God. I got no clothes for the fall. I'm an outside kid. I'm from Texas. I'm from not necessarily the country. My grandparents are in the country, so I love being outside. I love animals. I love riding horses. And I love being out in the yard. And it was football. It was like me growing up, being in the grass, being in the turf, being in the heat. We sitting there, we working. No. Wasn't anything like that. But I love being outside. But now, all of that sunlight and being outside and enjoying, I lost it. Being in here. How'd I lose it? I sit in the office. No windows. Gray walls. Black accent. One old ass computer. A mouse, keyboard, and my forms for an application to get into this luxury gym. I'm sitting there all day, sending emails, making calls, sending pointless texts that are not fulfilling to help people in my life. Because we need 100 activity, we have certain numbers to hit, outlandish goals that the company don't even agree with and know it's not attainable yet. The reputation of the place is going down and my name is attached to it. I lost it because I wanted something safe. I lost the fire and the creativity and the joy because I wanted something safe. And something I want you to understand is when you don't start taking a risk for yourself, you will not enjoy life to the truest potential that you can actually have. That almost blew the like monumental moment. That was some bars. And when I'm being so serious, you will lose that fire. I can see when I'm walking down the hallways and I'm seeing in the offices, the people in the offices, you know that facial expression that people have when the life is out of them. You know what I'm talking about? You walk in, you see them like this. And it's like they're zombies, dead. And it's like if you are wanting to work for a company and you were the owner, you were the business, you were the CEO, the manager, whoever is in charge, and you walk around and you see your employees are like this, you should know there should be some type of change. You should know we should be trying to do something to help better and grow their life in the direction that you want them to grow, rather than only keeping them conflicted into wanting to grow in upwards direction in this particular company because this is the only thing they know. And they're already unhappy with the position that they're in now. And you really think they want to grow up into it? No, they don't want to. And it seems like it's all they know. So do not be afraid to take this route. And this is what I ended up starting. As this process has grown, as these things have developed, I have been able to get a chance to learn more about myself, or what things I appreciated, what things I actually wanted, and how I actually wanted to help people along the way. So I hopped off of social media for a while. And when hopping off, I started connecting with more people, connecting with more relationships, and learning how to actually use my mind to create more, getting more outside, being more in tune with me, 7-day fast, days of meditation, days of no music, days of sitting in my cold apartment. Ain't got no furniture. We just got one bed. We sit on a rock hard hardwood floor, sitting crisscross applesauce, staring out the window, thinking about how my life can be designed, thinking about the direction I want to take my life, being so passionate about the direction I want to take my life, the people I want to help, and the ultimate person I want to build. I will sit my ass down and think about that. I will take time out of my day, out of my morning, to craft the person that I want to live so I can take this risk. I've already experienced it, and I know what the joy that I'm going to feel feels like already, so that when this situation comes about, I'm already in it. Baby, I've been in it for months. I knew the direction it was going to take, and none of you motherfuckers going to stop me. Excuse my language. I'm already not getting paid for it. And I just want to give you the drive. You got to start listening to your inner voice. You got to start listening to your inner self. But we spend so much time being confused, numb, and lost from the directions we grew up in life that we can't even listen to the mind. We can't even unplug and take out the files, the old files that we had in our mind, and place them with new knowledge and new files and new information and new passions and new joy and new just love for the things that you actually want to do. So as I've been developing the business, launched the LLC. This whole time I've been gone, I've been plotting, we've been strategizing, we've been playing chess. Speaking of which, if you ever watch the Queen's Gambit, it is going to be one of the most recommendations I would give to you. I want your opinion though. She kind of creeped me out. I don't know, maybe it's the way her eyes are. No judgment. It's a good show though. If you haven't watched it, watch the Queen's Gambit. I'll tell you that much. Watch the Queen's Gambit. What? Dang. So, the business. Anyone can create one. It's all in your mind. You just create the things that you want to. Of course, there's a direction you have to follow and some paths, things that you have to cross and different routes you have to take. But we started a business. Extended, I'm not going to spell it all out, but extended, and we are global enterprises. right? We launched it. Scary as hell, paying all that money for this LLC. But I've been able to learn more about myself throughout this entire process. I've been able to learn more about my inner self throughout this entire process. How did you learn the process? How did you learn more about your inner self, AJ? You just started a business. All you did was buy pretty much a piece of paper. That's really all I got. But you bought an entity. But I created it. I made it from my mind. And you can too. And so as you grow through business, it is a self-development phase. You learn more about you, what things you can tolerate, what things you can't tolerate, what things you can learn to endure. And I started to learn, man, I'm the maker of all this. I can create whatever I want with this. I'm like, man, if I can do it, I know other people can do it. And I know the processes that I went through, the times that I went through of sitting with myself alone and understanding more of how I can create and provide more help to the people around me, aka the goal that I wanted to get down, the things that I wanted to do, I had to listen to my inner self of like what things was going wrong with me and how do I flip the scenario to make it better. And I noticed with all of this, I prioritized social media more than anything. Every night I'd be scrolling, absorbing all that information, absorbing all the music, and absorbing all the TikTok, brain rot. And we would absorb all of this, and you would have thoughts in your head that you're flooding information into your brain. You're flooding information into your mind without even thinking about what your inner voice is trying to tell you. You got things of Instagram, you got things of TikTok, you got things of Twitter. And there's a lot of distracting things on these platforms. Then you get worried. It's like, oh, I'm going to make content. But what's my mom going to think? You're going to make content, and I guarantee you somebody taught you growing up about social media. Only post what your grandmother would like on social media. I took that to heart. I was like, man, my grandma can hear me cussing. You know, I can't hear my grandma. My grandma can hear. I love my. She's precious, man. I can't hear. She can't hear me cussing. Oh, your mom. Oh, she gonna beat me. But that fear that you had when you was a child and you became lost, numb, and confused is still tied with yourself. And so me creating this business allowed me to learn that. Well, it's like, yo, I got money on the table. I got to break through this. As I grew up and I started posting and I started growing a little bit more, having more conversations with family, just living my actual experiences rather than prioritizing social media, reason why I got off, and I got to experience actual relationships. Man, I got to see some things out of my family that I ain't even seen before. My family cussing. I'm like, you're telling me all these years, I thought you was this never happened. Y'all was the most pristine people in the world. But what you need to understand is that everyone has flaws. Everyone has, and it's not even flaws. Everyone has their own personal life that they're living. And they're going through their own loop. They're going through their own stresses, their own struggles, but they're people, man. They're people. They gonna have conversations. Some gonna judge you, some aren't. Some gonna help you, some aren't. You gotta live your life. I'm gonna make this content. But I got a plan. I gotta strategize. You have to have a game plan. You have to think a few moves ahead. You have to get a little bit farther. And I don't want you to think like, I got to put in all this work. I got to put in all this hustle. I got to put in all this energy. I got to exert myself, all this stuff. All that stuff is your physical. All that stuff is the body. All that stuff is the physical work. But what the real process is what's going on up here. You got to declutter what's going on up here and learn how to debunk and pull out information that does not serve you. And you got to stop thinking about the persona or the image that somebody else may think of you. I used to think every day, growing up, walking around, I can't walk around my do-rag, I just ghetto. I take care of my hair. I got long hair. I gotta keep this intact. I got to hold the image that I have for me inside of me. I'm going to hold it down for me. That's how I'm going to take care of myself. I'm not here to please you, care what you think of me. I know firmly in full belief of who I am and the person that I am. But I've also created that person who I wanted to see in the future up here already. So I'm going to act as such. I'm going to be. I will embody this individual. But the only way that you can embody this individual is understanding your inner self. And something that helped me take a leap for me was starting this business. Of course, it's not going to start with the business for you unless you have one already. But this business is to teach you how to listen to that inner voice and how to find it in the first place. Instead of scrolling on social media, man, I'm gonna be like him, I'm gonna get this business like him. Oh man, I seen him jumping off of cliffs and stuff in where they be jumping off of? Indonesia, Florida, wherever they be jumping off of, because I don't even know the locations they be jumping off these rocks and stuff. I'm gonna be like him. I'm gonna bungee jumping and everything. Man, he yelling at people, calling him fat. I'm gonna be like him. I'm gonna be aggressive like him. You don't gotta do that. What you need to understand is when you're scrolling through this social media, you're scrolling through these pages, these are just ideas. These are another pathway that you can take. You can pull from the ideas, you can pull from the knowledge, and then make it into your own. Make it into your own craft. Make it into your own art. Make it into your own movie. Make it into your own sports game. Make it into your environment. Craft it in the environment that you want to see. So a lot of the things I still bring into play is the areas of athletics, competing, being able to challenge each other physically. I love doing that. I love to compete. I love to strain. Unfortunately, my body may not like it sometimes, but I have to push that. That's where I get my juices flowing. Just ran a 10K yesterday. I ain't done that in months. Came back in. That feeling. All my athletes, after you're done, you sitting on the ground, on your back, laying there, seeing stars. That feeling, though, I got to bring out every day. But those feelings, and when you get to that point, and when you get to relax after that exertion, you're able to hear more about what's going on up here. So my last thing is for you from building this business and building whatever it is that you want in life. I don't want you to ever only strive for these. I don't only want you to strive for these. Why, AJ? I just completed my master's. I just got my master's in communication studies. That 4.0 that I just got, told my corporate job, hey, we just finished our master's. Highest degree that anyone in this company got. Just completed this. You see how people treat me around here, and you see the direction they try to give, the input they give to me, how the other staff treats me and holds me. You see how everybody operates, and you see what I bring to the table. So here's kind of the direction and the path, things that I want to grow to help out this company. Well, AJ, you've only been here for how long? 3 months, right? Maybe about like 9 months. You need to be here. This place is more about performance. We're a performance-based company. You need to be here for some time. And I was like, I just got a 4.0 GPA in my master's. And you're telling me I'm not qualified enough to get this? You're telling me I'm not ready to get this? Isn't not that when you get into these roles and these new hires, these new positions, aka even the same position like I got into right now, is there not training that is involved? Is there not education that is involved in your companies to help grow this person, to mold them into this individual that you want them to be, right? Because I remember having 3-4 days of these long ass calls that wasted my time for me to be in the position that I'm in now. Even though previously the connection that got me into this place and the accolades and the things that I've done before getting into this place qualified me enough. $11,000 sold in 3 months with a company that was only selling memberships for $24. Am I not qualified enough to be in these positions? 9 months. And I want you to take it to heart that this and those degrees is not going to just leverage you into another space. I want you to know that. I don't want you to get trapped into that. I don't want you to get trapped only into thinking that this is the only direction for my life. You're telling me you want to be working for a promotion. You're 50, 60 years old. AJ, why are you so passionate about it? My dad is 60 years old, still working a job, 7 days a week sometimes. Comes home late. My dad deserves the world. And it pisses me off seeing my dad stress so much, seeing my dad be so upset, seeing my dad be in a position that he doesn't even fully enjoy at his age when he should be enjoying life and just enjoying it. Seeing my mother about to be 65 next year, still working in the world, busting her ass. Don't get me wrong, she'll whoop your ass too. She do her job well. She run her own little business, good for her, but she created another job. And I want to help her grow that. I want to help her grow that job. I want to fund them. So the people that I help now, the people that I help bring some guidance to now, I show them how they can create this reality. I show them the directions and how you can expand so many different things and so many different pathways. But the only way to expand and grow and to get into all these is you need to be aware of the realities that you are living in now, the things that you are unconsciously going into right now. You're taught when you're growing up, you need this A+. Your parents, you better be an A+ student. You better be an AB student. If you come home with a C or D, I'm gonna whoop your ass when you get home. It's not the words that were said, but I will pop that belt on you. Oh, you gonna lie to me about this grade? I'm gonna pop this belt on you. You come home with a signature in your notebook, I'm gonna bring this belt on you. Go outside and break that branch. This is just speaking from memories for me. Listen, I went through that. As you get older, you understand like where it's actually coming from. That's one of the biggest things. I don't want you to fall into these because this is going to create an identity that is outside of you. I'm an A+ student. You needed a piece of paper to tell you that? You needed somebody else's validation to prove you that you're worthy enough to feel good? You needed that? You needed somebody to tell you that, to boost your ego, a pat on the butt. You needed that? You're already greatness. You were already kings and queens. That's why I drew that Mario crown. You were already these individuals. You just need to live like it. You have to start and live like it. I don't want you to get stuck into the road, though. How do we gonna get stuck into the road? How do we not? I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked. Because there's some people in my life that I be on their ass. I be on their ass when I see them in bed at noon, 12 o'clock. And they're like this in bed, right? Covered up, and you got the blanket over over their mouth. See it covered up, and I'll be like, "Get your black ass up and do some push-ups or something." I just finished a workout. I just finished running 5K. 10. I'm sitting here dying, excited. I got the energy. I'm calling my boys. Yo, what's going? Ain't no way you still in bed right now. I'm comfortable. Get your ass up. And I've seen some of my boys, and they'll tag me on this. They get up, start, doing their push-ups, go for a run. Bro, there's ways to break out of it. And one, you need people around you. You need people around you that are going to support you, but they're also going to humble your ass when you ain't doing something right. You got two things. You got the external, right? You have your external discipline. What things outside of you are you going to stand behind every day? What things are you going to stick to every day? Are you going to be, are you fat working a corporate job in sales and you're not satisfied with your life? This program's for you. I'm going to help you lose 30 pounds in 3 weeks, and you're going to live the best life, and people are going to respect you, and this, that, and the third. Why do you think people can make so much money off of that? Because people don't want to be fat. And they're going to exploit the hell out of it. Especially if you look in the mirror and you're like, man, pretty fat. I've been there. I've been there. Hey, Jay, but you play college football. Yeah. But when football stopped, I'm still eating all this food and I ain't working out. We end up being 250 pounds, back hurting all the time. My knees already shot. And I got this stomach hanging over my toes, man. 250 pounds. We ended up moving to Miami, moved there for 3 months, found my homeboys, found my network, found my people that will push me, humble me, and call me, hey, you know, man, I'm kind of big, you know. And you see them, you know, work. You see them doing their thing. During that 3 months, I ended up losing 53 pounds in 3 months just because of the pure hunger that I had for it and seeing what life that I can live. So a part of my external discipline, I'm gonna work my ass out. It don't matter what it's going to be, but I'm going to work out. And I'll be damned I get back into that position that I was in again. But you also had to hit a pain point. It's like, man, I can't tolerate this shit no more. Find some things that will push yourself. Is it the meals? Is it your nutrition? Is it actually just taking care of your physical health in general? You going to work out, or you going to stay in bed? Or you going to challenge yourself? You're going to stay in bed? For me, being a public speaker, are you going to challenge yourself speaking to new people, networking, connecting with new people? Or are you going to sit in your own bubble, sit in your own lane? You're not going to talk to nobody. Which ones are you going to do? Which directions are you going to do? When people are around you, they can see you pushing yourself. But there's only like one real aspect with that, and that's your physical. But the biggest part, the biggest thing that needs to shift, the biggest area that you really need discipline. And what's the opposite of internal? What's the opposite of external? Your internal. Man, it's like you had a surprise. You planned it for so long. I'm gonna get these flowers. I'm gonna pump these balloons up. We're gonna get the surprise party, and then people show up late, right? People show up late to the party, and people see their friends. They're like, "Oh, that's such and such. What's going on?" And they start getting suspicious. Blow the whole surprise. And I did. You know. Anyways, internal discipline starts from here, man. What do you want to change? Who is the person you want to be? What's the direction you want to go down? And you need to decide. You need to make the decision that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. You're going to start a podcast? I need the equipment. I need the I need the chairs. I need the lighting. I need the cameras. I need the microphone. And I need the people. I need the right desks and the computers in front of me. I need the DSLR. I need the XLR. I need all that. For what? Bro, I'm recording from my phone. People think you need so many external things, all these material things to create whatever the thing may be. You needed to decide in your head, hey, I'm going to do this. No matter what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to start it. I'm going to put something out there. Instagram, you want to be a content creator, just start putting content out. Take a picture, post it, write your little quote, caption. But I want the editing to be all that. You don't even know what editing is yet. You don't even know all the features and all that. Just post, get your exposure out there, practice it, getting things out there, get your reps in. This is football. You're going to run your laps. This is the only way you're going to get in condition. You got to get you have to get your reps in coming off the edge. If you want to learn how to run and long arm somebody, you have to get your reps in to long arm someone. If you want to learn to swim, you have to put in your reps to learn that swim. If you want to hit your spin, you have to put in your reps to learn the spin. If you play basketball, you have to put up your shots. If you play soccer, you have to work that footwork. If you play lacrosse like me, you have to learn your handwork and your stick work to protect yourself. If you play baseball, you have to time in milliseconds to swing the bat at the right time to connect with the ball, to hit it in whatever direction you want to go. Of course, you want the home run, but you still have to make connection. If you are in a corporate world, if you are wanting to work that 9 to 5, by all means, you're more than welcome to do that direction. But if you're going to work that job and you're going to work that sales rep, you're going to work that finance job, that architect jobs, you have to practice at your craft. You have to practice at it, but you have to make the decision that, hey, I'm going to put some work in. Hey, I'm going to put this practice in. These are some of the things that I want you to pull from school now. School taught you to be in that routine. I got homework every night. I got papers to write every night. I got a teacher that I don't like, but I still got to do the work so I can get this A+. And so the reps that you got transformed in your mind. Like, I know how to do this, and this is the life that I have to live. So you have to make your reps. You have to put in your reps. You have to put in your time to craft and to be better and understand this is the direction I want to go. And I'm going to go full force into it. Create it in your mind. Create the direction in your mind. I have one thing that I want to leave you with, and it's more in the direction what helped me. And something that I heard was, a lot of people can tell you your top 3 favorite artists. Really said top 5, but 5's a lot. So kind of broke it down like this. You can name your top 3 favorite artists. Tell me, what's your top 3? J. Cole, Burna Boy, all of you Essential C fans, Kendrick, whoever these people may be. They're good artists. Whoever these people may be, I guarantee you can be like, wow. What are your top 3 core values? Go. What do you stand by? You got to hold it down, but you don't know. Somebody else been telling you your whole life. And one of the things that I implemented into my value is learning the law of suffering. That sounds crazy. No. I have to push myself. I have to challenge myself. I have to put myself in these uncomfortable scenarios, these situations. And when I go into these uncomfortable situations, I can be like, I just learned something. I got a little something from this. I'll push myself a little harder. I can push for another rep next time. I can push for a better time in my run next time. I could teach somebody else how to push a little harder. I can motivate them a little harder because I just motivated myself. I pushed myself. So if I can push me, I know how to help somebody else. Understand your values. Understand the things that you actually want to stand behind and hold it down. Hope you enjoyed my talk today. What else y'all got going on today? Biggest thing I want y'all to do, if you ain't got nothing on your schedule today, go work out. Go challenge yourself a little bit. You don't have to go into the mental stuff yet. Go challenge yourself. If physicality is something that you know by heart now, something that helps you, go for a workout. Cool.